Sorry, just need a little bit of jazz music to keep going here. We're almost done. Anyway, movies and cinema saw a massive explosion in the 1920s, as this was the golden age of cinema. Perhaps not the golden age, but at least the birth of mass consumerism and through Hollywood film. This was the era in which the film industry was relocated to Hollywood, drawn by cheap land and labor and the scenery and the suitable climate that made year-round filming possible. American films dominated the global market of film at this time. This was a common expression that creates a new popular culture with common speech, dress, behavior, heroes. Radio and film did much to sort of reinforce racial stereotypes as well. It molded but also mirrored mass culture at the time. We also saw that this was an era in which of the new women. Women for the first time received the vote in 1920, but this didn't necessarily mean that they won new opportunities in the workplace. Women were still largely confined to stereotypically female jobs, things like typists or clerks or teachers, all very low-paying jobs. The women's movement especially started to decline in influence, and this was largely due to the rise of a new consumer culture that made suffragists in the women's movement seem old-fashioned. It wasn't the movement of the young flappers, the young new modern women with their modern dress and shaking off the old Victorian stereotypes that women should be prim and proper. And this was the new breed of young women who wore short skirts, bobbed their hair, had sexual freedom, and flaunted their disdain for what they considered to be acceptable behavior. They were seen as brash for wearing makeup, legal drinking, smoking, driving, and all sorts of other things that flaunted the social norms. Overall, the question to ask here is, was this decade of the Roaring Twenties really a decade of Roaring Twenties? Was it a fulfillment of this American dream of cultural excitement and newness and modernity? Or was it more correctly an age of material excess and individualism? Were the critics of American society right at this time that this was a hollow existence, that America was too materialistic? Whatever the case, they were in for a rude awakening just around the corner, beginning in 1929, as the stock market crashed and general confidence, the confidence that Americans had come to rely on in the 1920s, was proven to be quite fragile and collapses in the calamity of the Great Depression of the 1930s.